Hello everybody, my name is Dana with the Freedom Please channel and essenceofme.com. I'm coming to you all today with a finished object, and I'm hoping that this will be the first of many to come. I have been a subscriber to Yarnbox for several months, and I have been receiving the yarn and loving the yarn, and some of my projects are going really slowly, but I'm loving the process still. What I'm going to show you all today is actually the finished project from my very first receipt. Yeah, one of those days of the Yarnbox Luxe, which was their very first shipment of the Yarnbox Luxe. I could not wait to get my hands like on that yarn or to use that yarn for many reasons. So anyways, that's what this is going to be about. As you can see, I'm really laid back because it was a busy weekend, but I wanted to show this to you all. Another reason why I wanted to do a video is because I do not have any pictures of the finished product because I just haven't been able to photograph it in a way that I felt like it was most flattering because of the construction of it. So I'm going to talk about how I like the yarn. I'm going to tell you all about the pattern that I use because I do not intend to do, I don't know if I'm going to do a formal review on it for many reasons, which I'm going to share in this video. And then I'm going to show you the product, the end product, and tell you what I think about it in comparison to my subscription and this being the first box that I received and all of that good stuff. So this is kind of like a follow-up to the very first video, which I will link in the description box. So if you're interested in seeing more and seeing what I made with that beautiful yarn, which I'm sure I've run a picture somewhere up until now, well then stick around and I'll show you what I've done. See you in a bit. Okay, my name is Dana with the Freedom Please channel and essenceofme.com. I felt like that was kind of a long intro, but I wanted to kind of give you all a heads up. This will be a very laid back video. If you are new to my videos, you will all know that I do not stick to the normal 5-minute YouTube norm, 5 to 7 minutes, because it's extremely difficult for me. And I find that me being as thorough as I can limits the questions, and we can just have fun in the comment section. Also because I find that a lot of my subbies, hello all, tend to work through my videos, and I think that's great, like to be able to work, and I try to be thorough with my words so that you can work. If you're like me and not able to fully function without looking at your hands, you can listen, and I will give you the heads up of when it's time to look up so you won't miss anything. So Yarnbox started a new offering in the month of, I want to say it was September. I will have the information, well, I will have a link to the original video in the description section. I will also have a link to my blog post for the initial video, the initial box as well, because I have the details like of the yarn and the retail value and all of that great stuff, okay? So they had this new offering I signed up for, didn't know what I was getting myself into. It's almost twice the amount of the original box. So it is meant to be for an luxurious or luxury lines of yarn. What I was most intrigued by is the fact that, to me, a lot of the yarns that they already offer they're not necessarily, I don't want to say cheap, but they're not just your average yarns anyway. So that piqued my interest if you were considering a luxury line and it was going to take you a step further than the original offering. The box is offered on every other month, I believe. So I should have another one coming in a few weeks. And so the yarn was a very beautiful cashmere. I'm going to run a picture because I don't have all the details here. This is more so about the finished product. So they had a wonderful scarf that they had as a part of the the box. I thought I was going to use it. I didn't. I saw this other project and I fell in love. And I'm going to show you all what that project page looks like here. It was called the Flit Flutter, I believe. It's kind of like a scarf slash shawl. And I'm going to show you what I made. So here it is. I'm going to hold it up. The construction of it makes it where it's almost like having welts because of you have the stockinette and then you have this kind of a lace type of structure here that causes it to, and I'm going to put it on. You have to excuse me, I'm in my workout clothes. But I wanted to finish this before I do. It has a little opening here and the end goes through it. And it allows the piece to stay up. Now, the original pattern calls for way more yardage. And I'm going to stand up real quick before I... It's always backwards, you know, when you're looking in camera. It calls for way more yardage than... Well, not way more yardage than what I had. So when I went into this, I knew I wanted something that I would be able to use the majority of the yarn because I just did not see myself having to purchase more of the yarn. The pattern was available on Ravelry. I saw a couple of people mention it in the thread on Yarnbox's Ravelry group. And once I went through, I was like, oh, that looks like a very good option. The other thing is that this is, and my coloring doesn't do it a lot of justice, so the pictures will have to do, a soft gray. And there's a little hues of other variations of gray in it. And so I thought that this, between the pattern and the beauty of the yarn and the simplicity of the yarn, and it is so soft, like super, 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 super soft, that it would be perfect for the winter. Even the fact that I was not able to complete it to the extent that the pattern said, it's going to be perfect. Like I can see myself putting on a jacket, wearing one of my sweaters, and this being just fine like this. So it worked out well. It worked out well. Knitting with the yarn, I felt like I was knitting with clouds. That's how I imagine knitting with clouds to feel. It was amazing. Like I really wish I had more of it. It was extremely soft. I didn't have any issues with splitting. I used my Addy Click interchangeable needles. I did not with, actually I'm going to talk about the pattern in a second. So it worked out really well. I used a larger needle size, so that just aided with the fluffiness of it. And right now, it's just like, it's sitting on my neck and it just makes me feel happy, okay? It just makes me feel happy, okay? So, downside, I fought with this pattern. I'm going to tell you why, and because I don't like giving bad reviews. So but I'm going to keep it real, okay? Because it's just my experience. I would consider myself an intermediate knitter. I've done some advanced patterns, but that's not usually the lane that I usually stick in. I can do an intermediate, something that's going to challenge me, but for the most part, I like something that's pretty straightforward. One of the things that I felt like was a downside to this pattern for me was that I felt like it looked extremely easy, but in the process of making it, I didn't think it was as easy as it appeared. And so that was a downside for me because that was one of the reasons why I selected it. I thought, here I have this really beautiful yarn. I don't have, it's not a lot of yards. So I was thinking this will work up really fast. And it was a great thing to break up some of my larger projects. The reason why I think it did not, well, the reason why I believe it was not as easy as it appeared is because the complicated portions of the design were worked on the wrong side, which means it was worked on the purl side because this is stockinette stitch. So that I had to do like, I don't mind purl twos together. I should have brought the pattern with me, forgive me. But there were some decreases that were done on the purl side which in the beginning were causing me to be not like it because I just didn't like it. The plus side is that once you got the hang, like once you transition through certain sections, it was a repeat that was really easy to remember. I was able to just put them on index cards and take them with me everywhere, especially since it wasn't a lot of yarn to move around. And so that was a great thing. In the end, it got so kooky. That's a good way to say it. That I had to remove a lot of the stitches, and I was like on the verge of saying, I'm going to take this apart and do something else. But I thought, oh, no, 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 you won't. You spent too much time on this. So what I did in the end is actually adapt the pattern to mimic the look of the rest of it so that I could complete the pattern. Now, one thing that I can tell you that I did is I used every drop just about of this yarn. I maybe only had, well, I probably only didn't use, that's a better way of saying it, maybe 2 inches, maybe 3. And I could even insert a picture here of once I did my bind off, it was literally like about 1 inch. And then I lost a little bit more, maybe a total of 2 inches when I did my, when I ran out of one skein and went to the next, because I did it with my square knot that I normally use, and so that worked just fine. So I used every drop of this yarn. I felt as though this yarn, if I remember correctly, retailed for anywhere between 30 something and 40 something dollars per skein, and I was going to use every single bit of it, and I did, which was a great thing. In the end, I love the look. I love the pairing between the pattern as well as the yarn. I would have been happier had it not been a little bit stressful, because to me, knitting is purely an enjoyment thing. So I try my best not to be stressed by it. But I love it. And so I intend to do the pattern again and make sure that I have something with a little more yardage, so that I can give it its just due, hopefully. I still don't care for the fact that it's worked on the wrong side, but that's something that I just can't do anything about. But what I do love is the fact that this opening and the end going through it, because it allows the piece to hold in place. And if you're a person that loves to wear shawls or anything of that nature, you may have shawl pins, or you have to tie it in a knot. And I just felt like this is just so adorable to just be able to put on, and it holds itself in place. I would have really loved it if I was able to get it across the shoulders, but for what I have, I think it's fantastic. And the fact that I used all of the yarn and the two just went really, really well together. So with all of that said, did I love the yarn? Yes. Did I love the yarn? Yes. Did I love the yarn? I can see myself wearing this non-stop this winter. Non-stop. Like non-stop. I don't know why I'm saying it 3 times. I think I want you all to really get that I would wear it non-stop. And it's warm, but not hot, and it's not itchy, and it's soft, and it feels like a hug on your neck. It feels like a hug full of clouds. So, in the end, I said I was going to come back, not just to show you a finished project from my Yarnbox subscription, but to tell you all whether I felt like my Yarnbox Luxe subscription was worth what I paid. At this point, I can say definitely yes. At that time, I said yes because I liked what was in the box, and I did not know the value of the yarn. And if you did not read the accompanying post, take a look at that, because I had some more comments there. But in the end, I think it was great. And so I look forward to my new box this month and being able to bring more finished objects, because I am working with,
it's 4 o'clock.
I have two projects, 2 works in progress using my yarn from Yarnbox. So will have more coming, and I'll do more of these Yarnbox FO videos. So if you are a person that had the Yarnbox Luxe subscription, how did you like it? And have you used the yarn? Were you one of the people that did the scarf that came along with it? And how did you like that pattern? I'd love to read your comments. And if you're not and you're just a faithful watcher, I appreciate you for watching. Have any of you done this Fit and Flutter piece? And I'm going to take it off, even though it's so warm and I don't want to. If you have, what was your experience? And is it just me? My tail is nowhere near what the tail was for the pattern, but I just made an adjustment. I did the Jenny super, is it this Jenny super stretchy, surprisingly stretchy bind off, which I love. And I did that on the end. And it just is beautiful. I mean, the yarn is just beautiful. And it came together. It all came together. So I look forward to interacting with you all in the comment section. If you have any questions, let me know. I am almost certain that I do not have a project for this in Ravelry, but you can take a look. I can't remember. I'm so sorry. My brain is mush. Because I don't know how to photograph this so that you get the gist of how it looks. And so take a look there. If you have any questions, let me know. And I look forward to coming back with you all, hopefully sooner than later. Take care and goodbye.